And we begin with the latest on the deadly shooting spree at the largest mosque in San Diego, which is being investigated as a possible hate crime.
You know, police say 2 teenage suspects stormed the Islamic Center, killing a security guard and 2 other people. The gunmen were later found dead at the scene.
Alex Hogan is live in Washington with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hi, Brian, Ainsley, and Lawrence. So at least 5 people are dead, including 2 gunmen at the Islamic Center of San Diego. This is in Claremont. Among the victims was a security guard at the center, and law enforcement are now praising him as a hero.
We do believe the security guard was able to help at least minimize the situation to the front area of the mosque. Until we know more, I don't want to speculate, but at this point, I think it's fair to say his actions were heroic, and undoubtedly he saved lives today.
Shots rang out at the center just before noon Pacific time yesterday. Police responding in full force because they were already searching for one of the suspects. At the time, they were using license plate reading technology. The teen's mom had actually called police about 2 hours prior after seeing that some of her weapons were missing and finding a note from her teenage son.
She believed her son was suicidal, and she began to share information that several of her weapons were missing. Her son was with a companion, and that they were dressed in camo, and that is not consistent with what we would typically see from somebody that is suicidal. It's being investigated as a hate crime at this point. There was definitely hate rhetoric that was involved.
Law enforcement say the 2 teen suspects killed 3 people at the center before killing themselves a few blocks away in a vehicle in what appears to be self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Yesterday marked the start of the annual Hajj pilgrimage season. This is one of the most sacred times in the Muslim faith. And according to the center, this is the largest mosque in the San Diego community. The center offers studies and courses for children as young as 5 years old. And you can see in this footage more than a dozen children being walked out of the center. They're holding hands after those shots ring out. The mayor telling residents that the San Diego Police Department will increase its presence at all houses of worship, and the same concerns across the country today. Even in New York City, the NYPD will increase its presence at mosques across the city today. Back to you.
Wow.
Okay.
Thanks,
you.
Alex.
So San Diego police confirming 2 teenage gunmen opened fire outside the Islamic Center of San Diego. It happened Monday afternoon, killing 3 individuals before taking their own lives just a few blocks away. Now the FBI and local law enforcement are working to determine a motive for the attack on the largest mosque in the county.
We are actively investigating this as a hate crime. There are details and information that we are investigating as to exactly what those what the hate speech or the hate words were that were conveyed. Some of that is going to have to take more time to develop further to see where that information is coming from.
So let's bring in former Assistant FBI Director Chris Swecker. Chris, from what we know, these 2 teens, the mom knew something, they were violent, tried to head it off before it happened. She was not successful. What do you take away from this?
Yeah, Brian, this was an extraordinarily dramatic set of events that took place yesterday, where we finally get a parent, a mother, calling in about her son and the red flags that he had been, displaying. He'd taken a car, he'd taken weapons, dressed in camouflage, and the police are searching for him, and it's a race against time when the shooting actually takes place at the Islamic Center. So it is extraordinary. I mean, this happened before in Boston, where a police captain turned his son in back in 2015. But you don't see that very often. We're always talking about see something, say something. The question in my mind is, did she do it soon enough? And how was the teenager able to get his hands on those weapons? So that's part of the investigation as a hate crime here. It doesn't matter with respect to the 2, other than to get a handle on and an insight into their motivation. But it does matter as to whether someone aided and abetted or conspired with or enabled this attack.
So, and it turns out that security guard looks like he was a true hero, or else it could have been a lot worse. The same thing we saw earlier.
Oh, yes.
But check this out, Chris. the rise in religious hate crime. In 2000, there were 3 incidents. Here we are in 2025, there were 19 incidents, a 533% increase, and so far this year's ahead of last year's pace. So, and then we have tensions flaring in the Middle East as usual, but now we have a war that could be going back into full stride shortly. What do you think about this?
Yeah, again, we see young people and probably deeply disturbed individuals picking up the message from this just heated political rhetoric on both sides. And this is the result of that. Those people are out there. People, and we know that. It just happens time and time again. And again, people just don't seem to stop with this rhetoric where individuals like this take it as a call to action.
Right.
So that I think that rise in violence and threats corresponds or is directly related to this political hate speech.
Chris, when you go back and do an investigation, how much does it matter that 2 of the hijackers from 9/11 spent some time there, and that they did have an imam that talked openly, being very critical of Israel since the attack on January 7th?
Yeah, that mosque has been a bit of a lightning rod. I mean, 2 of the hijackers spent quite a bit of time there, and one of them was one of the main hijackers, one of the main players. Al-Awlaki, the imam there, is a direct, was spouting Al-Qaeda rhetoric, was a member of Al-Qaeda, as we now know. So we'll see how that plays into it. These 2 are pretty young. They wouldn't remember. They would have had to have read or seen, heard something about that rather than heard about it contemporaneous with the events. But I will say, let me go back to the security guard. What a hero. He was dressed in a tactical vest, which tells me that he might have been an off-duty police officer. And at that, he prevented these 2 from getting inside the mosque and getting at the children there. So we got to, this could have been a lot worse, Brian.
Absolutely. And the cops got there immediately, too. So that also helped.
Right.
Chris Swecker, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate getting up early for us.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.